Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, this is Those Guys with your host Matt Marrero along with your other host,
Tristan Walter.
And today, Tristan Walter, it's another Doctor Who Wednesday, and we're brought to you by the monks. The monks that have been here since the beginning of time.
Right.
No.
Your loving shepherds that have, brought in humanity from all the way up to our oceanic slime to what we are today. So,
it's interesting. I tell the monks all the time. It's really funny how my students, who also worship the monks, how my students say, "Hey, you look like Jesus," and I go, "Remember when the Jesus was with the monks?" And they were like, "Oh, Jesus," and I was like, "Yup." So it's very interesting when the monks helped out Jesus cure leprosy.
Right.
Yeah. And when Jesus was like, "Hey, let's not have all this money going around in this synagogue," and the monks were like, "You go, Jesus." That was really nice.
Yet they didn't stop him from getting, burned at the cross. Nor did they stop World War II.
Well. The monks can't be everywhere at once. Immediately secret police come in. All right, what the fuck do you want me to say? No, right? Like, imagine in that situation, like, well, what do the monks want me to say? Like, sorry.
So, if you can't tell, we're doing episodes 7 to 10 of Series 10.
Yes, we are. And you might be able to see that in the episode title or whatever. But, yeah, see, obviously the monks... it's kind of funny because that right there, you said it in kind of a joking manner, but you were very serious in the sense that you're like, the monks came in, tried to say, hey, we've been here the whole time, we've been your saviors, and we've been here to help you, unless they try to erase something like World War II, right? Unless they tried to erase it, but... For the most part, they didn't necessarily erase memories. They just added themselves into everything. They literally mind photoshopped themselves into everything. So, yeah, like some of the greater atrocities that go on in the world, people are like, why didn't the monks help us with this?
Because that was your own damn fault. Oh, thanks,
That's the thing.
No problem.
Yeah. Humans need to take care of yourselves, police yourselves, and it's just like...
Oh, but we definitely stopped the Cybermen, the Daleks, and the Weeping Angels. Got it.
I laughed. No, you know what it is? It's not even the fact that me laughing at them refilming those scenes. It's... me laughing at the doctor narrating it, like, oh, you all fucking remember, right?
Yeah.
More than me. Y'all fucking remember, don't you? And I'm like, oh, God.
Honestly, the doctor's message on the television screen and just him smiling and leaning into the camera scared the fuck out of me more than anything else in the episode.
Yeah, that's the saddest thing about these character designs is that Capaldi was actually... the scariest thing in the episode.
Well,
me thinking that he actually turned to the dark side because he's just fed up and humans need to, kind of like,
Emperor
what's it called? He's like right. They need to take responsibility for their actions. The fact that, that scared me the most out of everything in this episode. And it's really sad because the designs for the monk designs aren't bad. It's just, I think any monster, when you show them that much, they're going to get a little bit watered down. Like even the Daleks, right? After a while, I don't know about anyone at home, but I don't fear the Daleks anymore. I don't want the Daleks around because I feel like someone's going to die. Right? But even then, multiple companions have been near the Daleks. No, but here's the thing. Think of all the companions that have been near the Daleks. Think of how many Daleks that have killed a companion.
I guess.
That's what I'm saying.
That's getting meta about it, but which I understand, but at the same time...
Well, no, you have to think of you have to think of the show itself. Like, you sit there,
Yeah.
and whenever you watch, something, you're like, oh, my God, who's going to die? This is so scary. Because that's what you think of. Like, when I think of, oh, that thing's scary, like, you could have, a monk in your face, but if he's like, how are you? I'm not going to be freaked out. I mean, maybe I will because it's really chill. But still, like, I'm not going to sit
look
there
like
if
a
something's
corpse.
really...
That's what you look like to us. You are all going to die, and you can't do a damn thing about it. You are like little dead babies. What?
Okay.
Did he just compare us to dead children?
Can you
I'm
tone
sorry.
it down a little bit?
Was that offensive?
Hey, how do you... No, it's like they start telling dead baby jokes. It's like, what the fuck, guys? Jesus, monks. But,
no, we're not going to ask for your help.
Yeah, no. But that one, it's really...
Shit.
What was...
Run another simulation.
Right. I was waiting for this to be a simulation, too, and I was going to be like, oh, guys. Because there was some stuff going on in this episode.
The Christmas special that you kept, with the dream within a dream within a dream. I think he was like, yeah,
no more of that.
Let's not do that again.
No. Yeah, here's the thing, right? So the thing with the monk designs, right, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not saying they're not scary. I'm just saying that over time, using them so much, using them in so many different, like, I don't know, just to me, photoshopping them into famous scenes doesn't make me scared of them, like, oh my God, they're right behind Einstein. It makes me chuckle. And then after a while, they just look silly. And I don't know, like, I know people will say, well, the Daleks look silly, and I go, well, yeah, maybe that's why I don't fear them after a while. And then again, they also don't kill people that we know, that we care about. So after a while, they become a little bit less scary over time. So these, I'm not saying they should have killed Bill, right, or something like that. I'm just saying that when
I would have raged
them,
against the machine if they had killed off Bill.
I would have been the most mad, right? There's so many fans in the world that would have been mad, Matt. Oh, I would have been the most mad. Like, I'm just saying. But no, I just think that using them in, photoshopping them in, and then having them be not even taking care of stuff themselves. Apparently they have secret police doing it for them or something. It's like, you also sit back and you look at the scale and you're like, where's UNIT? Apparently everyone is just like, oh, yeah, no, the monks, yeah. Like, there's no other Doctor companions that we can't, like, get one small, tiny cameo. It's just back to another thing where you and I discuss, oh, I can't believe that a whole, like a worldwide event is going on, and we can't get one companion, one screenshot, nothing. But anyway,
or UNIT.
What matters is, or UNIT, yeah. Like, I'm sure Osgood was just, the Osgoods were just like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, them, the monks, yeah, sure.
Yeah, they totally didn't hear. I mean...
Yeah, no, of course, all the time.
Yeah, it's weird to think about it that way, too, because, like, even Kate, like, running UNIT, it's like, all of them, I feel like, would be like Bill and be like, no, wait, there's something wrong here. Like, not being able to put their finger on it, but still, like, questioning it like her. But I guess seeing as how she was there when it happened, it's easier for her to be like, no, something's not right here.
Right. One thing I want to mention first before we get into that thought, I just want to, still sticking on to the suit design, also just, and the general plot, also making the monks, like, take over planes, like, I don't know, maybe their thought was, no, it'll freak people out, but it just felt silly. And I laughed, and I know I shouldn't have been laughing, but I don't think it's my, like, it's Matt's sick sense of humor. No, I really think that it's not, like, about having a sick sense of humor or anything like that. It's just, after a while, they not only become normalized, but then when you put them in situations like that, you just laugh, and then I don't fear them.
Right.
And I'm supposed to. Right? Like, after that first episode that they were in, the last episode, episode 6, I was freaking out. I was like, what in the fuck is that? And I was so happy. I was like, these look so cool and creepy. Dude. And then this one comes around, and this. Yeah, I mean, that's just how I feel. I don't know if you felt like their design was hindered by them being shown so much.
I mean, like they're still got this sense of unease whenever they're around. I think that's more of what it's going for. It's like they're not supposed to be like outright terrifying. They're just, you're supposed to feel a sense of uneasiness near them, because they still want you, like their whole idea is like, we must, you must love us and ask us to help you for us to conquer you. I mean help you. So like even when they show them in the flashback pictures, it's supposed to make you feel weird about it, like, oh, why? No, what are you doing?
Okay. I mean, I'll take that, because I'm not going to say that they aren't uneasy. And it's funny because I don't want to sit here and say that they're, bad designs or a bad plot. Funny story. So I accidentally fell asleep after watching episode 7, or most of it, because I was very tired in general, something to do with episode 7 being boring. And I fall asleep, and apparently I have this giant nightmare where, like, it's segmented, because, that's how dreams really are. So, like, they're, like, segmented in weird ways, and, like, I see, not them necessarily, but, like, the Red Hoods, and then apparently there's, like, bioterrorism going on in the dream. And it's just a bunch of, and just generally, like, chaos and oppressive regimes. And I'm just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, oh, maybe they were. Like, I can't say that they weren't necessarily. Like, I'm sure they get up in your psyche. Like, I'm sure they get up all in that brain. But visually, in the moment, watching them, I don't know. There's something about them that, like, again, when they first appear, I was really freaked out. And I was very, and also, I think it's also because you took away, even though they still kind of had and didn't have teeth, you took away their fangs. In terms of, in episode 6, they really seemed like they were a force to be reckoned with. And here, in this episode, I'm not saying that being smart means that you aren't tough, or that being calculating means that you aren't tough. It's just the fact that in this episode, you basically had them say, hey, like, obviously, yes, giving them consent, like, cool, right? Duh, you have to give them consent. But with this episode, and then even, I don't know, the one after, like, just in general, it's, it just, I don't know, it felt weird to me.
Right.
Like, it felt, it just, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it. It made them feel weak as monsters. Like, it didn't make them seem effective. That's why I said, like, in episode 8, I feel as if the most effective monster was the Doctor. I do. I feel like he was the most effective monster in episode 8, the Doctor. Like, and it's interesting, too, because apparently online this isn't listed as a two-parter, but it totally is, though. So I was thrown off. Because usually they list two-parters as, like, A and B in certain sites that I look at. So when I was looking at the episode list, I was like, oh, there are no two-parters. And now we're watching this, and I'm like, that was a lie.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very connected two-parter. But still, so I just feel as if that there could have been... Also, another thing, too, by the way, before I even mention Bill, I thought that with the simulation, they were trying to go with, the simulation is going to be what actually happens, right? Which I know that's on me, because it's like, no, Matt, that's why it's a simulation. It's not what's really going to happen. That was just in episode 6. So it doesn't mean it's going to happen in episode 7 as well. But it just feels really weird that you introduce them in 6 and basically say, hey, this is what's going to happen with them, or this is what they are, right? And then 7 rolls around, and it's like, oh, no, we were doing that out of love. It's like, wait, what? Like, isn't that confusing? At least to me, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, that's, like, that's why I'm not, I mean, not that I don't like two-parters, but I'm not really a fan of this one.
Yes.
It wasn't bad, but I don't know. I feel like you could have made an episode out of each. Like, you could have taken the simulation idea and made that into just its own episode, and the Doctor and Bill kind of wake up afterwards and been like, that was fucking weird.
Well, it's technically a 3-parter, remember.
Yeah.
Technically. But yeah, no, I feel as if maybe not every episode, but at least the simulation versus the aliens touching down and, saying, oh, we want to love, that's all we want to do, those could have been 2 completely different episodes.
Yeah.
Like, completely different, like, aliens and completely different concepts. And the fact that they merged them into 3 episodes, it was a big problem to me, because when you only have 12 episodes, having a 3-parter, a technical 3-parter that isn't at the end, really kind of ruins the show. And I don't mean the show as in, like, as a whole. I mean, like, ruins the flow of the series,
Yeah.
Like, out of nowhere, it's just, hey, we haven't really had any 2-parters, let's give you a 3-parter. And it's smack in the middle, too. Like, it was just really weird, because now, after 6, 7, and 8, you then have to be told, yeah, and then just go back into 9 and 10. And you're like, wait, what? How? What do you mean? So, yeah, that was a little like weird to me. But yeah, I feel as if, I think the 2-parter idea, look, I don't think it's necessarily a bad concept to have the aliens win for once, in a sense, and then see what happens in the next episode, right?
Yeah.
I think that was a very interesting concept. My only issue is that it was them, because it felt like they were completely rewritten, and they were a completely different alien race. And I get it, simulation versus real life, but it was just such a vast difference, like what they claimed they wanted to do versus how they looked in the simulation.
Right.
And also it then made the Doctor kind of go against his own morals. Granted, look, I'm not saying the Doctor can't kill, right? The Doctor can't, go to war. I'm not saying that. It just felt so strange to me that he kind of sat back and was like, no, I saw the simulation. We have to kill every last one of them. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, well, that was the line that got me the most. Like, Nardole even jumps in. It's like, oh, well, show of force, that never works, right, Doctor? Actually, no, this time that'd be great. What the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? You never opt for that.
I only think it might be because he's blind. So he's sitting there like, we have no other options.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, like, because he says just later when, Bill, because Bill even, like, I haven't even known him that long, and even I know that's wrong. And Nardole's like, yeah, it's not like there's anything wrong with him or anything. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, go fucking ask him.
Right.
And then he's like, yeah, I've been kind of hiding something, but, it's weird what fear does to you. It makes you even afraid of, saying that you're afraid. And it's like, and just to be clear, I understand, that weakness 100%. It's like, do you, Doctor? Do you? Because you're still fucking up.
Yeah.
And it ends up biting him in the ass, too.
The Doctor's like, I have a secret to tell you, Bill. Everyone in the room who isn't blind, stand up. Doctor, why are you doing this? Did they stand up? I don't know. I'm blind.
Oh, God. No, like, that would have been great. But no, he waits until the lab is going to explode. Well, just put in the combination. I can't. Why not? She literally told it to you. I can't see the lock. What do you mean you can't? I don't understand. I'm blind. What? I'm still blind. And this place is going to blow up. Don't try and save me. That would be a real dick move right now. Even though, you're my best friend right now. Don't do that. Don't do what any other friend would do. Because you have no idea what the monks, you don't know what the fine print is on the contract bill. Don't do it. It's like, all right, I'll just let you die. There's no way in hell she's going to do that.
Yeah, no. All right, I'll just let you die. Episode ends.
Yeah, right.
Well, who's the doctor next episode? The next episode opens with fucking Jenna Louise Coleman in the opening.
Oh my God.
She's back, baby. Her and Ashilda are the doctor for like 3 episodes.
Huh. Ashilda and Clara.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
it would, especially with Missy. So no, but and we'll talk about Missy in a second, by the way. But don't think we forgot about that, everyone. Yeah, I just when I look at the way this episode 7 was set up, I'm just not a fan. Which is funny because you told me, I think you were telling me the next half of Doctor Who, at least what had come out at the time, which was up to 10. You had said, the next half of the next couple episodes of Doctor Who are very much what you may have not liked, Matt, from the recent series of Doctor Who. And I said, well, I will be the judge of that. And in no way was this bad, but it definitely did make me think of what has recently been done with Doctor Who in some ways.
Yeah.
Where in this one, look, I get that the second episode you have to have like a good hook to get people interested in the second episode. And I think, again, the aliens winning wasn't a bad idea. I think it's just the general fact that, and I had a problem with this, but like he wasn't blind for long enough in the first half, episodes 1 to 6, for me to complain. But now that it happened in this episode 2, I really have to, complain about it. Or at least, critique it if you want to use that word. The fact that he has this item that allows him to see, but apparently it can't see much. Like, I'm sitting here like, wait, so you're a fucking alien, Doctor. I'm sorry, but you're an alien. You got all this cool shit in your TARDIS. Sure, you can't find any of it because now you can't see, to be fair, but you got all this cool shit in the TARDIS. You're telling me you don't have something that can work as a seeing aid better than that? Where you're like, I can tell the biological gender of every biological sex of like any person. I can tell their age. I can tell so many things about them. But the second you hand me an inorganic object, it's just, well, tell me in your own words. I know that it's a television show. I get it. You're not going to make it so that he just isn't blind anymore, just without some kind of conflict. But it's just kind of silly to me that the Doctor is like, well, I can't see, so this combination, I don't know, what am I going to do? It's like, Doctor, you can literally send, even though probably because you have sonic glasses, but you can send all classified data to every server in the world. Now the Internet has all this classified data. You can do that, but you can't touch a lock, a combination lock, and be like, I can feel the numbers. I can feel the grooves. Doctor, they were painted on, but I can feel them. Like, I can feel the ink. Like, I don't know, like, it's the Doctor.
Well, because it's weird, because he even says, like, the sonic can, like, compute the, like, the outcome of the numbers or something. He mentions something to that effect, and he's like, but I still have to physically put in the code. And it's weird, like, the more I think about it, the more it kind of makes sense that something so small and stupid is what trips him up. Because, like, everything, throughout the whole episode, he's like, no, don't take their deal. We can figure out another way through this. And he's, like, getting over each roadblock as they go along. It's like, look through the documents. I'm thinking bacteria. I'm thinking this. I'm thinking that. And it's like he's getting closer with every guess. And it's like, well, how do we know you're right? And he's like, well, I usually am right. So you know what? Shut up and get to searching on Google. And the fact that he's just about to pull everything off, and he even says to Bill, get the hell out of that pyramid, we're going home. She's like, all right. Mm-hmm. He's like, there's a padlock in my way. There is a fucking padlock in my way.
Yeah.
It almost feels fitting in a really, like, odd sense, but like the more I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? That figures. It's something simple that trips him up because that's the shit he doesn't think about. It's the simple shit that always fucks him over.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like from a writer's perspective, from that perspective, you're not wrong. I'm just saying that it seems silly because the Doctor is the kind of character, and they've done this so many times. I'm going to turn around. Why? I will place my buttocks upon the... What do you mean, Doctor? I can see through my ass. Like, he's just the kind of Doctor that... Like, you see what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's the kind of character that they've given so much to in terms of genius and problem solving that in some cases, yes, obviously him being blind, it's like, oh, well, him being blind, you know, he can't see what is in front of him. Got it. So this, you know, so the monks are in front of him. Oh, yeah, they're in front of you, Doctor. Like, okay, right? Something like that. Or like, what is this, what, you know, but just certain things where it's just, you know, even in episode 6, I think I mentioned this, and if I didn't, then I apologize, everyone. I might have been too high off of how good episodes 1 through 6 were. Just the fact that he couldn't read the book from putting his finger over it or something like that. Like, like, they give him so much, and then he's blind, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I guess he can't, like, you would think, wait, him being blind, that means everything else is heightened. Oh, good God. He can smell color. like just sniffs. Smells pretty blue today. What? Like, I can... No, like, if you take away the Doctor's sight and you take away someone's sight, other senses heighten. That worries me. Like, the Doctor should be doing algebra with, like, his left toe.
Yeah.
His left toe, Matt, whatever toe is on the left-hand side of his body, it can do algebra now, not even basic shit.
I mean,
like honors
hell,
level.
yeah. It feels, there were even episodes, like, 10 and 11, there was, I'm pretty sure at one point 10 steps out and he, like, sniffs the air and he's like, oh, you know, this is age, yada, 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 and the companion's like, did you just tell the year by sniffing the air? Yeah, don't think about it too much. And then even 11, and he runs out and he licks a leaf, and it's like, it's this year. And, like, Amy's looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I just licked a leaf. He's like, but I still know what the year is. It's like, yes, it's impressive, but as you're spitting it out, you realize it's like, you just licked a leaf. That's kind of nasty. You don't know where that's been.
And, of course,
I don't know where that's been.
And 12, yeah, and 12, too, you know, all he has to do is, like, lick his finger and put it up in the air, and it's just like, the wind. Yeah, of course, the wind. But there is no wind. Oh. Which might seem normal, but, like, it's 12, so, like, you know, it's just, like, in a way, it's like, oh, it's so insightful. So, like, just to have him be like, I'm blind. Oh, no, there's padlock. Again, from your perspective, it makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, right? I'm just saying that it's just kind of silly when the Doctor is like, you know that glass? Yeah, if I sneeze on it, it'll actually evaporate. Why? Because I took my nose medication today. And in it, with the Time Lord's physiology, it could make things evaporate if I sneeze upon it. Doctor! But how do we get him to sneeze? Episode 2 of the two-parter. That's how it ends. But, no, but seriously, like, they do, I don't know, that's just me. They do so much with the Doctor, like, overpower him, that you take away his sight, and it's just like, but did you cut off his arms? Did you give him a frontal lobotomy? Like, if you didn't.
Oh, Jesus. Because even he says it himself. He's like, oh, yeah, you know, I'm blind. So what? You think that's going to stop me? And granted, it didn't up until a point where it was like, no, your sight is literally the only thing that could save you right now. It's like, well.
Oh, by the way,
because to be fair, he does try, like, 3 different things. You know, he's like, Erica, I can't reach you from the other side of this door. Nardole, my lungs are failing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Sonic
to be fair.
Sonic screwdriver and Sonic sunglasses both fail him, too. So it's like, well,
to be fair, yes.
I'm all out of tricks.
Yeah. I was in love with the fact that they introduced someone into the Doctor Who universe who was a little person, who was not someone in costume trying to be some freaky alien.
Right.
I think it was just such a. She was just a person.
Yeah.
Like, I know that might sound silly to some, right? Like, I'm not, I'm not a little person. I'm not talking about like little person representation. I'm just saying that, like, like I'm from me or anything. But I'm just trying to say, like, in general, I don't say that because we're doing podcasts. No one knows how I look. But still, I'm not, saying that. I'm just saying that, like, it's such a beautiful thing, and I'm so happy about it because I'm happy about a lot of Doctor Who this year when it comes to representation because it's just a thing where they have had little people on the show before, right? I'm not saying they never have, but whenever they do, they're like, oh, Blacksilver, or they're like, oh, yes, you're literally. Actually, I don't even think they had little people as the elves. They just had people who were short.
Right.
So even then, it was like, wow, that's kind of rude. But, like, even then, you're like, you don't know. You're like, is it rude to not have a little person as an elf, or is it rude, right? So you don't, like, all I can say is that when it came to certain characters that they wanted to make smaller, they would use a little person, which I'm not saying that that's completely horrendous, but it is terrible when, oh, yeah, we've hired little people before as the aliens. Literally, the word people is in there.
Right.
Why? Like, and the thing too is that, like, it's not even like they didn't Hollywood her up in the sense of, I know it's the UK, but when I say the word Hollywood, it's they still went with someone who is beautiful, right? Because of course all that matters is getting an actor or an actress who's beautiful, right? But she was also a little person. So, and it doesn't matter that she's a little person, right? It shouldn't matter. But representation does matter, and that's why we talk about it, because of the fact that, like, anytime I can think of them using a little person, they weren't people. They were alien of some kind.
Yeah.
Maybe once, I think literally once, out of all of New Who, I can go, wait, no, there was that person who was a little person who wasn't meant to be. Like, they were alien, but they were human, like humanoid.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But I think once. I literally think once. Every other time I can think of, they were caked in makeup, like everyone else. And you're kind of sitting there like, that's not the best, right? Like, that's just not good. So I was very happy. And she was just a person. That's all it was, right? She was just a person.
Yeah.
Granted, I don't know how the community of little people feels that the first little person they have on the show is about to monumentally fuck up and kill the world. I don't know how.
Well, it's funny. I feel like it was way more on her partner, Douglas, the guy she was working with, that fucked. Because, okay, I think the only thing that annoyed me more than the doctor looking at the padlock, even though, like I said, it made sense when I thought about it, was this guy. Like, okay, sure, you go out drinking the night before, you come into work because, fuck, I have to go to work. Like, I can't miss a day. Like, all right, I get that. But when you're dealing with highly toxic and poisonous and God knows what else chemicals and bacteria on a daily fucking basis, and you have a hangover the next day, like, I get it. I think he was going through some, like, life problems, and, like, it happens. Everyone has their problems throughout their life. But when your job, like, requires you to deal with highly volatile and dangerous shit,
right,
you don't mess with it with a fucking hangover. And granted, even her, like, her glasses got stuck in crushed in the doorway that morning. So she's like, "Oh, can you mix the serum?" And he's like, "I can try."
So I have a question
even after
for you.
that, even after that, when they run out and he collects the he takes his helmet off while everything is dying. He's like, "Oh, I was gonna vomit in my suit." It's like, well, you could be disintegrated like all the vegetation that was in here. No, I think I'd rather risk that than, getting vomit all over me. And then takes a sample and forgets to close the airlock. Now, I get it. It was a stressful situation. They were freaking out. But I'm sorry. You should have enough training and muscle memory to be like, I need to close that fucking door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that just irritated me. It's like, why would you not close the? I don't care how fucking freaked out you are. If you've worked there for any amount of time, you would have closed the goddamn door.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
Yeah.
Let's move on, though, just because briefly. But it sucks because you're not wrong at all. It's just kind of like, yeah, why would you not do that?
And then even Erica is just like, oh, Douglas, what? Like, I'm sorry you're dead right now, but you done fucked up. She's looking at the mixture.
Yeah, I love the doctor hitting on her because she's smart. Like, I think it was such a beautiful thing.
That was hysterical.
Just like, seriously, what are you doing later? And I was like, that's really. She even smiled. She was like, oh, because it's
like,
really
I'll
funny.
Save the world,
because,
and then you'll find yourself developing a massive crush on me. And she kind of just looks like, all right. Like, I'm not mad, but at the same time, did you just fucking say that to me? Like,
yeah. But yeah, no. So let's jump into episode 8, which we've briefly talked about here and there. So like I said, it's just 6 to 7 to 8. I think that I really liked 8 a lot more than you may have. I think, I don't know. Or did you say you really liked 8? I forgot which it was.
No, I liked 9 and 10.
Okay. Oh, because you wanted to get away from this story.
Yeah, I wanted, I was kind of done with the monks. Like, I'm glad how they tied it in with, Missy was helping them out, and that, I love the line where she's like, because when they narrow it down, it's like, oh, Bill is the psychic link. It's like, oh, so you just have to kill the person who's the psychic link. That's me. Awkward. And he's like, no, we're not doing that. It's like, Doctor, I just saved this planet. It's like, it might not be the exact way. It's like, no, we don't sacrifice people. It's just because it's easy. It's like, all right, then what the hell else are you supposed to do? It's like, your version of good is dogmatic and borderline arrogant. It's like, you always think that things are going to work out right. And to be fair, like 90% of the time, things do work out in the end, even if it didn't go the first way he had planned it to go. Because it felt like at a point, it's like Bill, when they have that whole scene where she's confronting him, it's like, you're helping the monks. And he's, stringing her along. It feels like, I don't know if it's just because Bill hasn't been with him as long, or whether, I don't know. I guess it felt like other companions would have been like, nah, he's still got this. You're fucking with me.
Well, she did. She tried to code word him.
Yeah.
But he literally shut it down. And that's when I said, oh, no.
Right.
Oh, no. I sat there, and I was like, so I didn't know which way to go. I was like, corrupted or robot? I didn't know.
And then she just blasted him, and was like, well, I didn't see that coming.
That's kind of why I really liked this episode as it went on. Because at first, I felt weird because, generally, though, it's a little awkward to have them do a 6-month gap. And apparently all the shit has happened in 6 months. And the way they hand wave, oh, well, don't worry, the monks erased everyone's memory. It's like, so nobody was tortured or in jail while the monks were here. No one died.
Nah. Well, that's the thing. I feel like the monks don't kill anyone on the planet that they take over because they're using all of them. Like they put them, like the Secret Service that was working for them said, it's like, oh, you get 10 months in a labor camp. It's like, not that that's not terrible, it is, but it wouldn't necessarily kill them. I'm not saying the conditions wouldn't be
to me
good, but
to me, if they worked 3 weeks in a labor camp, and let's say it was very the conditions were very well maintained, I'd be like, well, maybe okay, but the fact that it's like you've been sentenced to a 10-month labor camp, unless these people's minds started opening up right around the time the doctor, like had met up with Bill again, to me, I'm sitting here like, wait, if this happened on like day 3, they've been doing this for 6 months already.
Right.
That is a lot of labor camps, intensive work, potentially death-inducing. Yes, death-inducing.
Yeah. Right.
Just to have everyone go, well, I guess we've forgotten everything. Like, in a way, in a weird sick sense, I would have preferred them to remember the monks. In a weird way.
Yeah. Well, even Bill was like, oh, so we, like, the human race, like, we'll all know how to overthrow dictators in the future, right? He's like, wrong. What do you mean wrong? It's like, you, what's this we're sitting on? We just thought it was for a movie or something. Looks at Bill. Well, fuck.
Like the doctor, thank you, random millennial. Be off.
Now get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But also,
like, oh, that's
it
just
was
part of our charm, right? No, actually, that's one of the things I hate the most about your species. It's like, so then why do you stay here? Because I'm basically under house arrest, and well, you're okay.
Also, briefly, very, very briefly speaking about episode 7, I didn't like their Trump joke.
Oh.
And I didn't like it, because here's the thing, right?
Okay.
If anyone has any problems with Donald Trump, I feel like, and if anyone likes Donald Trump, I feel like there's so many things you can go for, but just to say, like, oh, he's orange, like, it felt like a cheap shot. There's so many other things you can say, like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I agree with them, but there's so many things you can say that I think it's kind of silly to just go for the orange pot shot, and then also, more importantly, saying we brought all these leaders together, but we don't have the U.S. president. Because here's the thing, right? For me, I prefer Doctor Who to exist in a different world. Like, I know it's our world, but I prefer, like, we never, like, anytime, I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong, anytime they were like, oh, Mr. President, when Obama was in office, I mean, maybe they didn't go for the president, but they didn't get an African-American guy to play Obama, or I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong here. But
yeah, no.
Did they?
I'm pretty sure they definitely did that with Tennant.
But they didn't,
like, you don't
see
him like face to face, but there is a voice impression, and I'm pretty sure the actor was African American. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure. Before the Master graphs himself over everyone on the entire planet, like that was definitely
okay. Because in my head I had thought that Doctor Who had gone with random generic white guys as presidents for the longest time now, and they've never tried to be accurate.
Not that they haven't done that, because they definitely have, yeah.
Right. Other than 11 seeing, what was it? Was it Reagan? Yeah, it was Reagan, right? I'm pretty sure 11 met Reagan.
Okay.
When they went into because remember they went into the past and they were in New York and stuff, and it was the Doctor and River. I'm pretty sure they met Reagan and NASA officials.
Possibly.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that I remember, but I feel like every other time it's usually generic white guys. So, like, I feel like them, I don't know, taking that shot at Trump, trying to make the world, like, like more like ours, and then not inviting, U.S. personnel to the world's meeting. It was weird.
I mean, really all they had there were the leaders of the army and the UN president. So
true, and arguably UN represents us as well. To be fair, so I mean, yeah, you're right. You're very right. It's just we got other armies too, which is why. Granted, I guess not part of UN. To be fair, but it just I don't know. It felt weird. Like the whole thing felt weird to me after the Trump pot shot. And literally, it's only because I just want there to be a world where we don't reference politics, unless they're done in the way that you and I like, where it's mostly like, hey, let's overthrow dictatorships or having the Doctor be a hippie, right? But it's just, it's just weird. You know what I mean?
I mean,
to like reference like
I
stuff
guess,
in the moment, to me anyway.
But at the same time, it's like, it's not like Doctor Who has never done social commentary before. So
No. I like my social commentary. Well, here's the thing too, by the way. Saying that he's orange isn't social commentary.
Yeah.
Like if they said, we have to stop this oppressive regime, do you mean the monks or Trump? I'd be like, holy shit.
Right.
Right? If they
True.
did that, I'd be like, that is biting social commentary, whether you agree with it or not. But there's a difference between, I didn't even vote for the president. But it's like, well, of course you didn't. You're in the fucking UK. What do you mean?
Right. Yeah,
like,
and
of course.
To Bill's credit, she's a little goofy, but I feel like she would have been more serious about that kind of thing.
Yeah. She'd be like, which president? Like, U.S., UK, Ugandan? What do you mean? We don't...
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean president? Like, what do you... I'm confused. What president are you referring to?
Right.
But, like, the fact that she was like, I didn't vote for him, he's orange. And it's just like, wait. Oh, unless she was referring to... No, because there's people who have run in the UK recently that have been somewhat orange. But they have not been elected.
Right.
So the phrase, like, oh, I didn't vote for him, he's orange, I'm pretty sure they're trying to go for Trump. And to me, that isn't biting social commentary. That's just, look at the orange funny man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, back to episode 8. Yeah, I actually thought the Doctor was evil. And when she shot him, I was like, is he going to regenerate into someone who gives a fuck? Because that would be very interesting as a concept. Right?
Oh, man.
I just realized I didn't care, but now I do. Ha-ha!
Just
and
the
then,
phrase regenerates into someone who gives a fuck.
Basically.
Oh,
right?
Man.
That's what I thought, man. I thought they were going there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it was funny. I think the line that really got me scared was the idea. It's like, look, the monks, let's just be happy they're a benevolent race instead of, like someone like the Cybermen or the Daleks. It's like, yeah, they took your freedom away, and hell, I tried to warn you about that, but you know what? Now I've just got to make do with what we've got, and I have to save you guys from yourselves so you don't fuck anything else up. And it's like, oh wow, he's actually had it at this point, hasn't he? He's just been like, you know what? You chose this. So you know what? I'm going to sit back and I'm going to just let you deal with it.
Yeah,
told you not to, but you did it anyway.
My problem is that in a sick way he's right, and that's kind of why it felt weird as a resolution. Like, oh no, don't worry. You shouldn't take responsibility for your actions. I'm the Doctor. I can save you from your own responsibility.
Well, I mean, because even Bill says to him, it's like, you're the idiot, though. It's like, what? I'm supposed to not save my friend? It's like, no, you took it into your own hands about, what was best. And it's like, I was helping my friend not die. Yes, I understand it had some dire consequences, but, are you fucking serious right now talking to me like this? Like, we're supposed to be friends. Yeah, I'm not just going to let you die. That's not how any companion has ever worked with you, Doctor.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent point. One thing I wanted to say was, and this is somehow still jumping back to episode 7, the Doctor and this still matters. The Doctor and Bill have barely left the house, right? Barely traveled together, but still somehow people know who. Like, that was the one reason why I thought, oh wait, this might be a simulation, because apparently, UN officials are like, yes, you are his recent known companion, and I'm like, how?
I mean,
Bill hasn't even met UNIT yet.
True.
I know that they should be watching him 24/7, and they probably are. It just threw me off that, it's been, 6 episodes, and one of these episodes was a simulation. So it's been 5 episodes. And
it is a little odd.
They're like, oh, no, because, look, I'm not saying that he is, I think it would be hilarious to see, 5-minute YouTube clips of just the UN or even just S.H.I.E.L.D. going to other companions, you are listed as not this one. Been about 30 years. Just going to older companions. You have been listed as a companion of the Doctor. Not recent.
Yeah, you have been taken off the recent companion list. You have not appeared in an episode in at least 2 seasons.
They get a call. Hello, this is Unit. I told you to take me off your list, and also me and my family are eating dinner right now. So if you could not call during supper time, that would be real nice.
Oh my God.
S.H.I.E.L.D. becomes telemarketers.
Oh jeez.
A Unit becomes telemarketers.
Yeah.
How great would it be? Just Unit as telemarketers, just like, so you've traveled with the Doctor, yes? We had this conversation last week. Wait, no, I do travel with the Doctor. That didn't happen yet. Sorry, my apologies. That conversation happened 3 years from now. My apologies. If you could take me off the list. Like, how great would that be? But anyway, so yeah, but jumping back into episode 8 quickly before we move on. Yeah, I just, I think I was more, like I said, over and over. I was more impressed by the Doctor, Peter Capaldi's acting, and Bill's too, by the way. Great actress.
Yeah.
Like, she really came into her own in this episode. I was
Yeah.
more entranced by their acting than I was by the monks as villains, because the thing too is that, like, just to say, like, oh, we're doing this to protect you, like, you assumed it was going to happen, but in some ways I feel like I wanted to not assume and to feel something like that was going to be different. So, like, I was actually happy in the Ice Warriors episode 9, that they actually did something different in a sense, where the Ice Warrior that, had unleashed all of the newer Ice Warriors, or technically the older Ice Warriors, onto these British soldiers.
Who resurrected the Queen. Yeah,
who resurrected the Queen too. He was saying, no, I want to help you guys. I do like you guys, and because I actually have to admit I didn't expect that, because usually, in my opinion, the usual feeling is, yeah, I was with you, but just to betray you, and I did betray you now. So now I'm evil.
So we're done.
Like, I'm gonna fade into the background. You won't even remember my name. That's the usual thing. At least to me, it seems like the usual thing. So I was very excited with the fact that he was like, no, because once that happened, I was like, okay, the build-up to him turning, or at least, like, awakening them, it made me a lot more satisfied with it and feel like it wasn't wasted time with another, similar plot. The second he became good. But in this case, with, having, the monks actually be evil, or not even evil, just, go, oh, well, we're doing this to protect you, but we're still ruling over you, and even if you consider there being a world without us, then, we're going to throw you in these labor camps. It just felt so samey.
I feel like the thing is, you don't, or maybe it was just me, maybe I just missed it, but, like, I don't really get why the monks conquer planets. What do they get out of it? Like, is it for resources? Is it just for bragging rights? Like, I don't get it. What's the point?
That is a great point. Like, there was never really a discussion, because that's the thing too. When the Doctor met them, they were brand new, so he didn't know who they were, what they were, and that's the thing too. Maybe in future series we'll learn more about them, but at the same time, that's what.
The only other thing I can think is, like, maybe they just feed off of the psychic connection. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like, there really is no.
Because, I mean, apparently Missy had some, like, maybe it was her other incarnations that kind of dealt with them before. I'm not sure. Maybe in Classic there was that mention. But even she, it's like, oh, did you defeat them? Yes. Well, why did they conquer places in the first place? No fucking idea. Wait, what?
Again, it's something we might deal with later, but I have to say that it's definitely a big oversight to say, we'll learn more about them in another series. Like, at the very least, I think that we should get their main goals out of the way now. unless
Right.
they're going to come back to them this series, in which case I think that's another misstep because of the fact that, or an oversight. Because, because like if there was a 2-parter, I would have been okay with it. But a 3-parter, they better play, if they do come back, a very minimal 5-minute role in, like what's going on. Also, I want to say that it felt like a lot of what was going on Earth, like before these next few episodes, they had some things kind of segmented at the end or whatever of episodes, but it felt like there was always something recurring, and obviously that thing was Missy. But once they started kind of, I don't know, I guess, I don't say jumping the shark because it's Doctor Who and like that sounds weird to say in a show like this, but once they started letting her out of the, or at least going in to consult her, like in her little like tomb or her jail cell essentially, it felt as if there was nothing connecting the episodes anymore. And I guess, of course, there was a 2-3-parter right there. But after that, it felt like everything else, it felt just kind of disjointed to me. And I know that in the Ice Wars episode, Nordal does come over there to try to get her. But
Did you almost call him Narwhal?
I did call him Narwhal. I did. I thought I did that last episode, too, didn't I?
I don't think you went for Narwhal. You were like I don't even remember now, but it wasn't Narwhal.
I'm pretty sure I went for Narwhal, and I even said, "Hey, buddy."
Okay, maybe you did, and I just forgot.
Yeah. Or maybe it even hasn't happened yet. Time travel. But
these podcasts aren't in order. Yes, they are.
They are not in order. Well, they won't be eventually when we go back and do Classic Who. They'll be all out of order. By the way, of course, I think we really should mention, if anyone doesn't know them, the Ice Warriors were in Classic Who. I was very excited to see them. Very excited to see them again.
So was I.
And apparently, so this I didn't know, despite me actually seeing this episode of Classic Who, apparently this episode is supposed to be a prequel to an episode where the Third Doctor actually meets the Ice Warriors. Now, I remember this episode, because it was the first time he ever met them.
Right.
The reason why I didn't realize it was a sequel or prequel or anything like that was because of the fact that apparently the Doctor introducing them to the Alpha Centauri means that once the Doctor meets them as the Third Doctor, they are already in the Galactic Federation.
Right.
So apparently this was the Doctor introducing them to a federation that I'm sure the Doctor knew about as the Third Doctor, but it was the first time I believe the Doctor had met the Ice Warriors.
Yeah.
At least, well, maybe on the show. I think he might have said in the episode, the Ice Warriors. And, of course, you have the Brigadier. What in the hell are those? But, the British soldier thing was interesting because, to me, I felt like it was a little unneeded in some ways. You know what it was, too, by the way? Another big issue. Usually, they split up episodes if they're too samey. And I say it's samey twice this episode, but what I mean by samey is if you have 2 episodes in a row where they're both going to involve warrior races fighting each other. Granted, other things are going on in the background, but still, when that's kind of the general theme of the episode, or at least parts of the episode are related to that, normally you'd split them up, and you'd have one of these episodes happen before the 1 to 6 mark, and the other one happen in the other half. And I feel like this Ice Warriors episode could have easily happened earlier in the show. I know that there was nothing really to teach Bill, which is probably why it was pushed to the later end of the of this series 10, but it still feels as if this episode was very much, to me, like the episode after it. And I know that's probably why, in my opinion, you liked both so much. I'm not saying they were one-for-one copy-paste or anything like that. No. But I do feel like, you bring the Ice Warriors against these soldiers, and then in the next episode you bring the Romans versus that other group in Scotland. And
it was
Celtics. The Celtics.
I'm pretty sure that's what we were going for.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, thank you for that. And the Celtics, and you kind of sit there and you're like, wait, not the same episode, of course, but very similar in the fact that the Doctor has to kind of stop two sides from fighting just to either come to peace or fight the new enemy that is at their doorstep. Either way, the point is coming together in peace. They felt very similar to be one week after another.
Well, I feel like, I kind of disagree with that, because in the sense that Bill and the Doctor are actually split up for once, and each of them are helping the other side. Like, Bill kind of helps the Romans, like, I may not necessarily have a plan, but I can guarantee you that you're not going to die in a hole in the ground if you follow me out to the surface. And
very
then the
smart.
Doctor,
I love that a lot.
Like, I realize what you mean by, like, tying them in, like the Doctor has to stop two sides, because once they're together in the same room, he then says to them, you can either go on slaughtering each other or you can grow the fuck up. And that outburst, I was like, oh, nice. That was I thought it was an interesting play for him to actually have an outburst. It's like, yeah, he's seen this kind of thing over and over and over again, and like he even sees a piece of it in himself. So like, yeah, it's you get tired of that kind of thing when other people repeat the mistakes that you yourself have made in the past. It's kind of like you just want to take them and sit them down and be like, so here's why that's bullshit, because I went through it too.
Exactly. So in no way am I trying to disparage either episode. I think that was a great concept. I love when they split up companions with the Doctor. In fact, I'm interested they did it so early in Bill's run. Usually they wait a while to do an episode like that.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I mean, heck, they even split her up technically for episode 8, right? Even though it was only for a bit there, still just having her be doctorless for a bit there, I was like, oh, this is all so strange, right? Oh, by the way, another thing that I loved when them using the heavy filters and making it very gray for episode 8, it makes sense after you have a totalitarian regime running everything, very oppressive. Like, that made sense. I was like, great, this is when you can eradicate the color, right? When all hope is eradicated. But earlier on in this, in this exact series, when you have Bill all being happy with Kate, I think her name was Kate, with Kate and everything, it's like, keep the color, keep the pizzazz there. But now it's like, oh yeah, mute that baby up, make it sad, right? Make it dull and depressing. But yeah, so the Ice Warriors episode, I love seeing them back. I think it was nice getting some peace there. I fucking hate that guy so much to the point where that's a guy I'm like, yeah, we got to shoot him in the face. Yeah.
See, it was funny.
Like, got it.
It felt odd to me that, the actual commander, who was a deserter, comes back and down the elevator shaft and shoots the guy as he's just about to get away. Like, I don't know, I felt like the Doctor would have been like, oh no, you didn't have to shoot him. Like, I know he was an ass, but we could have just locked him up somewhere. But I mean, it's funny because then it leads into the whole discussion between the Ice Queen and the Colonel, about oh, I have no honor left to give. Will you please do me this service in executing me and getting it over with? And she's like, the pleasure would be all mine, but you will do it under my regime, and you will do it in battle with honor. And even the Doctor comes out and says, it's always been my problem. I've always been thinking like a warrior. Because Bill is like, you need to stop them. They're like, she's going to kill him. And it's like, no, wait, let's watch this play out. Why are we watching this play out? Because I think I know how this goes. And it might be the only way we can forge a semi-alliance with them. And it's like, it's fun because the Doctor was talking them up. It's like, yeah, we'd have no chance in hell against the Ice Warriors if they came to Earth. It's like, why do you say that? Oh, because the weapon that they use turns you into a giant spongy bouncy ball and disintegrates your skeletal structure. It's like, okay. Like, I don't know about you, man, but, like, seeing that, like, I was horrified. And, like, I don't know, there have been some pretty gruesome deaths in Doctor Who, but just their body crumpling up and bouncing onto the ground. I'm like, it was just so strange. I was like, that's not how a human body does. Like, I was expecting them to be vaporized, and it's like, no, they turn into a giant bouncy ball. And that's how they die. Oh, God.
It's a beautiful thing because it shows you how you don't need blood, guts, and gore to make something scary.
Right, yeah.
You can be turned into a bouncy ball, which
and
sounds hilarious,
like,
right? Just
I
explaining
wonder,
it sounds hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Until you see the crumpled body and you're like, oh.
Oh. And, like, that's what makes me think is, like, so how, is this how they did it in the classic episodes? Or, like, what the hell did they do back then?
No, I don't remember that happening in classic. I don't know what they did. I think they may have just choked them.
Oh, okay.
You know, because, like, obviously big hulking.
Right, yeah.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were choked or potentially vaporized with lasers. I don't, like, you know, with laser guns. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because it's been a very long time. But still, it's just, although something tells me they were turned to foam. Something tells me they were turned to foam. But anyway, it's just funny. Because, like, it just shows you, like, oh, good God, you don't need the blood. You don't need the blood. And also, him getting shot, the asshole getting shot was very interesting because you sit there and you're like, you want the Doctor to kind of say something, but they wrote themselves into a corner there because if the Doctor says something, like you said, that completely disrupts the scene with the Queen and the commanding officer.
Yeah. Right.
And also, I think the Doctor acknowledges, not that he would shoot him, but he acknowledges this guy on multiple occasions stopped this peace treaty from happening. He shouldn't have to die, but
I'm sick of your shit.
I don't know if I'm going to jump in the way of the bullet is what I'm saying, yeah?
Right, yeah. I don't know if I'm going to take a regeneration for this one.
Yeah, and it's rough because it's like, again, like, do you want, like, are you going to, like, because I get it, right? I felt the same way, too. I'm like, this isn't how Doctor Who goes. Is the Doctor going to say anything? But if he did, then, it would cut everything up and it would kind of ruin the flow. And more importantly, you know, it sucks. But, like, you wanted the Doctor to say something. But at the same time, anything, Doctor Who doesn't really do internal monologues, like where he thinks of something. Like, usually everything is said aloud. Because if he had time, like, you could hear his thoughts, it would probably be, ooh, didn't have to do that. Right? But anything he says in the moment, it's going to disrupt what's going on between both sides. And that's really bad.
Yeah.
So,
and, you know, I think I'm not even going to say, like, the guy didn't deserve it. Like, or it wasn't coming, because it's like, someone's going to shoot this guy. I thought for sure it would have been the Queen, like somebody or one of her soldiers would have come in and, like, tapped him on the shoulder, like, excuse me, who the hell, boom, you know, and, like, across the face, but, Yeah,
I do think, though, that him saving, the commanding officer saving the Queen was perfect, because even though she, as an Ice Warrior, can't show that there should be any debt of gratitude because she's better than them in her mind, or at least the way she talks to her people. I do think, though, that she sat back and was like, not only did he save my life, but he is willing to lay down his life for his men, something that, in a way, I would too, but I can't let them know necessarily.
Right. Well, no, it's the warrior's code. It's like, it's an honor code. It's like, you know, she recognized, it's the point where he redeems himself. It's like he was ready to sacrifice himself so that his men that served under him would escape her wrath. And she understood, like, even though she was like, you know, you guys have been really rude, and you've disturbed my sarcophagus and all this, but, like, I like this one. This one's good. He's got the same honor code that we do, and that's the idea. Like, the Doctor has to kind of, like, the Doctor even realizes is like, this is what's going to save us. I'm just going to shut up right now and let this unfold.
Yeah, it does suck though, because I do think, and I know you obviously need conflict, but it really does feel as if, despite them being seeming like they are beings of destruction, the Ice Warriors, they're warriors, they're soldiers, they're going to kill everything. It does feel like if everything had gone right, this episode would have been done in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You always have that one asshole that's got to mess everything up, or multiple.
Yeah.
In this case, it was just the one guy. I mean, technically, the first one, the one guy who was like, "Oh, I'm going to make it back home rich because I'm sick of this," and he steals the jewels off the sarcophagus and awakens her. It's like, well, you done fucked up, number one right there, and then number two is, the other guy who has just these fantasies of, taking command. And he wasn't fit for it anyway in any sense of the word.
Oh, yeah. Of course he wasn't. But one thing I want to say, just speaking about Episode 8 for a split second before we move on to 10, I want to say that I can't believe that they teased a regeneration out of us. I know we made the joke, but, in all seriousness, they fucking teased the regeneration out of us.
Right. Well, even Nardole says it. He's like, 12 goes to him. He says, "You think the regeneration was too much?" He's like, "No, actually, I thought that was, it was really impressive. What I thought was too much was when he asked for our boarding papers. Oh, I couldn't resist. Your face was just priceless."
Well, that was hilarious simply because, first of all, that, if anyone's rewatching the episodes after we talk about this, that should be your definite, showing of, these guys are working with the Doctor. It was something so subtle, but it makes so much more sense that they would see, because they basically saw whatever the fuck Bill was able to show them. And they were like, all right, seems legit. And I'm like, what? No.
Yeah.
Her papers are basically saying, hey, this is my ID. I am I work at a school, and I'm a, what's it called? I'm a lunch lady, essentially, right? Those are her credentials. I am lunch lady. And they looked at that, and they were like, all right, seems legit. Because from the looks of it, they basically stood there, and they looked at hers, and they were going to look at Nardole's, but then, of course, that's when the monks came in. So it's really funny how they let it go, and they let it go. Oh, God, Frozen reference, another one. They let it go because of the fact that Frozen reference wasn't bad. I just think the problem is he had to say the word and then realize it. It's so weird that he didn't say the word first. That's what really confused me.
So bad. That was the only thing that I hated about that episode. I
didn't like it either.
I love that episode, and then the Doctor has to be like, it's like Frozen. It's a movie. And even Bill looks like, what have you done? That's my thing. Stop trying to make jokes like me. You don't make them well.
Maybe that was the joke. Maybe that was the joke. He made it bad. No, because, all right, fair enough. Because to me, I didn't like it because it was done poorly.
I feel like that's the whole point.
No, because remember when I guess that's the point. Because I was a huge fan of when 10 was the circle of life, right? And just wait a minute, no, that's the Lion King.
No, that's the Lion King. Yeah.
yeah. No, so it's not the first time the Doctor's made a reference like that to a Disney film. It's just that to me, if he, I don't know, for me it should have been it's and then they'll be Frozen. That is a movie. That would make me chuckle.
Yeah.
But
although
I
have to say, Bill saying to him that one, it's like the Terminator. That has killer robots. You probably like that one. He's like, oh yeah, I'll have to put that on my list. Just has flashbacks to every time he's faced the Cybermen, and just curls up into a ball for a second. And Bill's like, you okay? Yeah, I'm good. I just never say that again.
Yeah, right. And it looks like we might be getting some Cybermen soon on episode 11 from the promo in 10. And that confused me. We'll talk about that promo in a second. I just want to focus on 10 because I don't want to skip it. So Crows used to talk, whatever. Anyway, just throwing that out there. Crows used to talk. Anywho, so apparently I am confuzzled. So apparently, people can walk through that gate, but once they walk through the gate, then it closes. Like, it seems like they didn't really know much about the gate, other than, so like literally, doctors like, oh, or Bill and everyone else was like, wait, it closed the second they walked through. Like, it seemed like the doctor was like, no, they have to defend the gate so these monsters can't come through, and it's like, but they obviously can't be defending it for long, not only because they're kids, but they're against more than one, right, from the looks of it. It's the fact that, I don't know, like, I know that there's a time displacement, but like what? Like, oh, they fought it for 20 minutes, but really it's been thousands of years. Like, is that what they may have tried to go for?
I mean,
because a couple
seconds on that side is like days on our side.
Yeah. So if they survive, not even kill it, if they just live for like, 3 hours, would that be, like, that would be a lot of, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think that's what they were trying to go for, maybe?
I mean, I feel like that was part of it, but I feel the main idea was that it only ever was like one being at a time going through that gate. So the idea, like, when they all piled in, it's like the gateway itself is already unstable. So now that all of this, like, just the sense of all this matter is now going from one dimension into another, and, granted, this is what the actual scientific, logic behind that would be. Obviously, I don't know the specifics, but, like, just the idea of so much matter going from one plane of existence to another through this rip, it's already unstable as it is, and it's like it has to transfer all of that onto the other side. Would, I don't know, maybe not necessarily close it, but like cause a collapse. Like it.
What
like
if
it
you
does.
What if you put dinosaurs through there? What do you think would happen?
I
feel like you know. I feel like you know what it is once dinosaurs are involved. So you'd be like, well, the equation for that.
You'd probably get another episode, a series of episodes with the Third Doctor. The invasion of the dinosaurs.
Yeah, basically. It would. Well, my question is, so you put dinosaurs in there. That's what would happen. That's what you just said. That's verbatim. Now, what if Indiana Jones was there and there was a crystal skull involved? What do you think would happen then?
I think the Doctor would be very offended.
Yeah. Why does it have to be an alien skull?
Yeah.
Why do you think you keep on getting invaded?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're rude.
But you're rude. But yeah, I didn't hate this episode. I know I said that it was very similar to 9, but I didn't hate this episode. I just think that they both are very much out of place when compared to the 3-parter that just happened before it, or if you want to count it as a 2-parter because you don't want to include 6, fine. But the 2-parter that happened before it, these next 2 are very off, and they're also very much like a cool down. But at the same time, they don't happen in present day, so they get weird for me.
Well, I don't know. I think I love them so much because they're more of what I'm looking for in an episode. I mean, it's not that, like I said, it's not that I don't like 2-parters, but just with how Doctor Who has been, I've liked these we have a story, we wrap it up, in one episode we get to meet, cool people throughout time, we get to have a really cool monster because, oh my god, the dog thing with tentacles and like how it lights up and it eats light. It's like it's from a dimension of darkness. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. I want more of this.
I thought it was a dragon.
Yeah, it might have been too. Like, yeah, you're right. It did have horns and like kind of an armored face. At first, I didn't see the face that well. So like, but later on, you do when they're putting it back through the gate. But like, I love that stuff. I want to see more just like weird aliens,
Yeah. No, I do too. But I want to say that I wasn't a big fan of the CGI for the monster. It felt like something out of Class. And Class didn't have bad monsters either. I'm just saying that, like, thinking of, like, recent monster CGI that was adequate, like, I don't know. For me, the CGI wasn't the best in this episode.
I didn't dwell on it that much. I was just
okay.
I'll be honest, like, it just looks so fucking. The monster itself, the concept was just so fucking cool for me that I just didn't give a shit.
Well, the tentacles were actually animated very well, and I'm being serious here. Like they didn't seem off to me, but it was the actual monster itself when it moved around, especially underground. It just didn't blend in well to me. Like it didn't feel right for some reason. But you're right. It was a very cool concept, and I have to say, 5 points to it not being in a space station.
Yeah, there you go.
Just extra points. Yeah, no, because I have to admit, if it was, like when you said to me, oh, this is, the next half of Doctor Who might, to you, Matt, seem like some of the Doctor Who stuff that you don't like, I was thinking like, oh God, there's going to be another space station. Not another.
A space station comes out of the gate.
I would not have been surprised.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But and by the way, let's point out before we wrap everything up, I just want to mention that the 7th episode was written by Stephen Moffat. Oh, and Peter Harness, right? So I want to point out who wrote certain episodes to everyone who's like, oh, who did that? Lie of the Land was written by Toby Whithouse, who I think he may have done Doctor Who before. Like, not even just Doctor Who in general, but I think he did. Oh, he did School Reunion, where they brought back Sarah Jane Smith.
Oh, right.
And recent episodes that he did. He did Under the Lake and Before the Flood.
Oh, boy.
I.e., yeah. So he went from the Doctor dies to the Doctor's really evil. Which actually is funny because they had an evil Doctor in that episode as well, technically. The Ghost Doctor.
Yeah, right.
Right. That's interesting to think about. Now, some other episodes that he did that you might remember. Vampires of Venice, which was one of the first episodes with 11. He did The God Complex, which was the one with the Trapped in the Hotel.
Trapped in the Hotel.
With Amy and Rory and the Beast. Where the Doctor sees the hotel room that has 11 written on it, and it has his greatest fear, and he opens it, and he looks at it, and he goes, oh, yeah, that sounds about right. With the cloister bells?
I vaguely remember that. It's been a while.
Understandable. No, it's fine. I mean, that was in 2011. That was 6 years ago. And A Town Called Mercy, which had, like, cowboy space RoboCop.
Yeah. Like Vampires of Venice and A Town Called Mercy. Those I remember.
Yes, understandable. Also, he wrote an episode of Torchwood called Greeks Bearing Gifts. Let's see, how much sex was in this one? Oh, relative amount.
I mean, it's Torchwood. So.
Well, I know, but you have to make sure, like, the amount of sex. But yeah. So,
on a scale of 1 to Jack, how much sex is in this episode? Jack. Well,
we're getting about 2 Jacks. Whoa, man!
Oh, shit.
What show is this? Also, he wrote a lot of Being Human, which is interesting. But yeah, so that's Toby Whithouse, who, and then also we look at Empress of Mars, which that was episode 9, and I want to see who wrote that. That was written by Gatiss. Or Gaddis. Everyone knows Mark Gatiss, if you know Doctor Who, and Sherlock, by the way.
Right.
If you're wondering, you're like, that sounds familiar. Who is he? Well, taking his writing work aside, right? Let's put his writing work aside. In Sherlock, he's actually Mycroft.
Yes.
So you know his face. You're like, oh, that's his face. But as a writer, he's been writing Doctor Who for a very, very, very long time. So as a writer, let me try to find his writing credentials. As a writer, he had written The Unquiet Dead, The Idiot's Lantern, Victory of the Daleks, Night Terrors, Cold War, The Crimson Horror, Robot of Sherwood, and Sleep No More.
Right.
So if you're kind of not remembering, Sleep No More was with the the eye crust monsters.
Yeah, the eye crust monsters.
Robot of Sherwood had Robin Hood in it.
Right.
The Crimson Horror. Oh, that episode was with Clara.
Yes.
And apparently, this is interesting. Yeah, it's funny. I found one that I've forgotten. Apparently. Yes, I found one that I've even forgotten. Interesting. Cold War, which they were in the submarine.
Right. Yes, because that was the first time that I saw an Ice Warrior. Oh, I love that episode so much. So, like, you have no idea. When I saw the Ice Warriors coming back in Episode 9 with the Empress of Mars, I flipped to shit. Because I'm like, I love these things, and now there's more of them. Granted, they weren't as, like, creepy and menacing, which was fine, but, like, it was nice to see. It's like, no, they're not technically all bloodthirsty monsters. It's like they do have a code. It's just when you're invading their tomb, it's like, yeah, they're going to be a little pissy when you wake them up.
Exactly. He also did Night Terrors, which that was the one with the little boy who was scared with, all the stuff in his closet. And then the doctor goes in there, and then he ends up getting stuck in the dollhouse, and then the dolls grow. Yes, that one.
Like, there's nothing to be afraid of in your closet. Oh, God, there's everything to be afraid of in your closet. Doctor, you're not helping. I don't care. I'm afraid of the kid's closet now.
Yeah. Victory of the Daleks, which is actually the third episode of Series 5. That's when the Daleks first appeared with 11, which actually is the first time I saw the Daleks, funnily enough. And then the Idiot's Lantern.
Dalek Rangers.
So now...
Exterminate.
So now, why is the Idiot's Lantern very important? That's the one which, and it's funny too, because you're like, I've forgotten that one. Why is it important? It's the one that had the beams coming out of the television in the 1950s, I believe it was.
Oh, feed me! Oh God.
But you want to know why that's important, though?
Yeah.
Magpie. Oh God, what is it? I think the organization.
I think.
Yes. They appear throughout the series.
Yes.
And it was even in. Yes. They were even, if anyone caught it, they were in episode. It was episode 8 when Bill.
Yeah.
When Bill saw the televisions at the store was called Magpie Electronics or Magpie
Electronics.
Electric.
Yes, I remember seeing that. Oh, I flipped the shit at that too. I'm like,
wait.
So are we gonna have more problems than just the monks now, or?
Feed me, monks. Wait, what?
God, if I have to
I'm so confused.
Like, nothing against the actress, but dear God, if I heard her say "feed me" one more damn time.
Moisturize me. That one also gets to me too. Oh, okay. And Gatiss wrote The Unquiet Dead, which actually I was just rewatching the first series of Doctor Who recently. That was the one where they introduced that's the one where they met Charles Dickens for the first time. It was 9 and it was Rose. They meet Charles Dickens on Christmas or around Christmas, and they have the ghosts in the funeral parlor.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. So he's a very good writer. Some stuff that we may not have enjoyed as much, but he's a very good writer. Done a lot for Doctor Who, and very happy to see him still writing for Doctor Who because it looked like he moved on to Sherlock. And yes, it's funny because you realize now it's like, no, Matt, he's done something almost every year. But to me, it feels like he wrote more. I believe he was actually one of if he wasn't the head writer, but he was still very high up there as like someone who worked on a lot of Doctor Who. But to me, it felt like for a bit, maybe I'm wrong, it felt like he wasn't in Doctor Who as much, like as a writer. But I guess I must be wrong because he's written. It's funny from 2007, 8, and 9. He didn't write much. So earlier on, he wrote less than he did now, where he's actually written for the past four series in a row.
Right.
But to me, maybe because some of the series had those gaps where they split 6 or 7 here and then 6 or 7 there. To me, it felt like he hadn't written in a while. Funnily enough, though, he still has. So I'm just happy to see him on the show still.
One joke I wanted to make about the episode titles. Like
Okay.
episode 7, titled. I felt like you could have just titled it "The Pyramid" by Peter Harness. Wait. Here's the second half. At the End of the World, and Stephen Moffat.
Right. So Moffat came in with "At the End of the World."
In the world.
That's what he contributed.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And episode 10, The Eaters of Light, I want to mention that it was written by Rana Munro Rana Munro. Now, here's why this is very important, right? It's very important because this is her first episode of New Who, which means that she is the first person to have ever written for classic Doctor Who and current Doctor Who.
Huh.
She actually wrote the last serial ever done before Doctor Who got canceled.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, I want to clarify, and this isn't because I want to get her on the show. I just want to clarify. We're not saying it's her fault. We're just saying that it is – no, because it sounds horrible, right? It's just like,
yeah, you
really?
knew you were going to go there.
No, but I'm just saying it's not her fault, okay?
No.
No, but how intriguing is that? Like, she is the first person to have ever. She wrote the last serial ever done with 7. Well, with 8. Yeah, 7. And then, of course, Doctor Who got canceled. We get 8. We get 9, 10, 11, 12. And then here she is writing another serial, or technically another episode. But how crazy is that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting stuff there, which is it's kind of sad too because she is Scottish, so I feel like maybe she knew some things she wanted to throw down, or some mythology she wanted to throw down into episode 10. I think that it's kind of I think that it's kind of sad that they put this episode right next to 9, so it didn't really stand out to me. I think it could have stood out more if it wasn't that close to episode 9. That's just my take on it.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
you already got my piece on it. Like, I loved both of those episodes. So.
Oh, yes, and I'm not saying I dislike them at all. Again, I really want to say that they were good episodes, and them not having a space station involved at all really brought the stock up for me. No, because I'm sorry, guys. Let's be honest here. Space stations got very played out over the last few series, of Doctor Who. A lot of space stations. Or things resembling space stations. Like, no, but they're not in space, Matt. They're underwater. Duh. Listen. Like, it's a similar set. Don't say that it isn't. So I'm very happy that these last few episodes have been very, has still been different in some respects. But apparently we're getting the old master in episode 11?
Yeah, I have no idea. And the original Cybermen, too.
Which makes sense, quote unquote. But, makes sense? But fine, sure, whatever. But, no, it's kind of funny. You see the original Cybermen. You're like, oh, but such a cool design. I can't believe they're back. See him? Well,
what?
No one gives a fuck about you anymore, Cybermen. Wait, what? But upgrade. Nah, I don't give a fuck, man. Go away. Upgrade me later.
It's just the Titanic crashing into the TARDIS. What? And it has the Master's face painted on it. What?
Basically. Yeah, I'm just so confused. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen with it, but I'm so confused.
Yeah. I loved just at the end of Eaters of Light where, Missy's just sitting in the TARDIS and Bill and Nardole are just like, the fuck is she doing here? Doctor's like, all right, just calm the fuck down. She's just doing TARDIS maintenance for me while we're out. It's like, no, that's not. No. Just hear me out. She can't get out of the box. She can't leave. It's just a portable prison. Do you realize the words that you just said right now? Say that again, but slowly. Well,
okay. We'll be very brief about this, but I have to say, I don't know what I'm
more upset about, the fact that it seems like she's going to actually turn to good, or that I think she's tricking him and it's going to be another case of the master tricking the doctor, or in this case, Missy. Like, I don't know where I'm going with this, man. Like, I don't know if I'm excited, like, or not excited, but like, I don't know if I'm disappointed at the fact that her being good in a way, not only does it take away from some of her scene-stealing abilities, but it also has her crying, which is like, wait, so it took you this long to go, wait a minute, I'm hurting people. So it's just like, it took you that long, and also the fact that I just feel like either I'm going to be disappointed because of that, or I'm going to be disappointed because you took so much time to try to make me think that she was turning to the side of good. But really, she's evil through and through.
Right.
Also, the fact that, to me anyway, it doesn't seem like we've seen anything that should really make her want to be good, other than, well, she was in prison for a bit. It's like, yeah, and she was faced with certain death. And it was like, okay. Like, I don't know. Like, even then, it's a certain death didn't kill her. So, like, I don't know what they're trying to do.
Right.
I mean, then again, I guess
true.
she would have been killed. But to be fair, he took the poison out or whatever it is. So, like, the doctor's the one who fucked that up.
Yeah.
Because it would have killed her, for sure. But
I think it's boiling to a point where she just wants her friend back. And, like, you know, that may sound silly at face value, but, like, of all they've been through, and they are, I mean, well, Gallifrey's back? Question mark? I mean, it's there, right? You just post, I don't fucking know anymore.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing, too. Like, you know what it is, too, by the way? Like, look, I'm happy that she's been evil since this point, because, again, it gave us such memorable scenes. But I think having her be that evil and then trying to seem this good, like, in a way, I hope it's an act, because it doesn't seem like it makes sense. But then if it's an act, then it feels like it's wasting my time.
Or, honestly, I feel like it might just turn into she wants to, and she finally becomes friends with the doctor again. Like, they can, because even the doctor's like, that's the tricky thing about hope, you always want to accept it. And he's like, no, I have to remind myself that it's like, you're still trying to kill me. It's like, well, to be fair, you still try to kill me too. Yes, but I don't go out of my way to do it on purpose in the first place. I usually only resort to it because you've tried to kill me at least 3 times in one day.
Yeah, it's we'll talk more about it next week, because I know 11 has dropped and I haven't seen it yet, but 12 will drop next week, and then oh, I'm happy to hear that. I didn't know if you were trying to, like, lie to the people, because I know that you want to.
I haven't seen it either.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing. I'm very happy that we're both in this together for once, because recently you've been keeping things secret, just like the doctor is with the vault. You've been keeping things secret, not trying to let certain things out, because obviously, as everyone knows, we're playing catch up right now. But But yes, so
Matt,
I haven't seen 11. What?
I've been lying to you. I've been keeping a secret. I'm blind.
Oh no!
I haven't actually been watching any of these episodes. I've just been listening to everything.
That would be that'd only be funny because it's happening to you, right? So it's not funny if someone's blind, but it's funny if it's happening to you, and yet you're still trying to do this episode with me, and somehow you're getting facts right that I've gotten wrong. like literally.
I mean, if you thought just losing my eyes would stop me, Matt, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Right, I can hear the vibrations of the plot. It's like, wait, what? You become Daredevil. But,
oh boy.
Yeah.
Dare Doctor.
So we're gonna wrap things up here. That's where we end it. We're just no more.
Yeah.
That's all. We're done. Yeah, I have nothing else to say other than I'm still hyped for what's gonna happen over these next 2 episodes. I admit I'm still hyped, right?
Oh yeah.
I just think that basically, that promo is what hyped me. These last few episodes, while not being terrible, even the last 2, Tristan, have lowered my expectations compared to what I had seen in the first 6. And I
it's
think
funny.
you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. It's kind of reversed for me. So, like, it's funny. You might be more hyped for the last two. Like, you might find the last two, like, better for you, and I might find, like, I was let down. Like,
Wait.
I really don't think so, but...
Oh. No. I'm not. That's the thing. I don't know anything about the next two episodes. I'm just trying to say that out of the last two that just aired, right?
Yeah.
And the three before it, or the two before it, because 6 counts as, from our last episodes. I'm just saying that, and I think you agree with me. Like, as much as you liked the last two episodes that aired, I don't know, like, how would they necessarily hype you for what's coming up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
you
ended up having that two-parter that definitely for you deflated you, and it didn't deflate me, but it definitely didn't hype me up for anything. I was like, oh wow, okay, this is pretty crazy. And then what do we do next? And then you had these 2 episodes that were standalones. So now just the promo alone, I think, is getting me hyped. So hopefully the next 2 episodes, I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I think I'll say this. I hope that Missy doesn't become this. Like, I hope this is the Master making some kind of weird timey-wimey cameo appearance, and this isn't Missy becoming. Because if we have to lose Missy to get this Master, I will be very upset, because I think everyone has been enjoying Missy. So I've
heard
see
mixed,
why we would.
I've heard mixed things, but personally, I've loved Missy personally.
Okay.
But
yeah. So then maybe it's on.
I'm not
it's on
sure.
Me.
I feel like I've heard that her actress is leaving as well, but I could be wrong.
That would freak
don't
me out.
quote me on that.
But well, honestly, as much as I think it's great to bring back this Master, I would dislike her turning back into him.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going to bring him back. I'm pretty sure this is just a cameo.
Okay. Which I think is a brilliant thing. It's funny. I would prefer cameos of companions, but still, Master / Doctor cameos. Yeah, I'll fucking take them.
Right.
Yeah. All right, then. So I want to thank you all for watching as always, or for listening in as always. We're going to wrap things up here. I just want to let you guys know that, we are wrapping up for Those Guys Play, we're wrapping up our Summer of Love specials. We're still, funnily enough, I thought I was playing catch up with those as well, releasing 2, 3 a day, and it looks like even to the last breath, to the last episode of this month, we'll be playing catch up. But I just want to thank you all who have been watching those. You're right, Summer of Love has me playing different dating sims and visual novels, very weird stuff. You can catch that over at our Those Guys Play YouTube channel by searching up Those Guys Play. But the reason why I'm talking about this right now is because we're actually moving towards next month, which is going to be our Halloween in July month. And that's not just for our Those Guys Play, Let's Play channel. It's also going to be for our podcast as well. So other than Doctor Who and then potentially jumping back into Star Wars Wednesdays, other than those, everything else is going to be kind of Halloweenified, right, for Halloween in July. So definitely tune in for that. We're going to have, Halloween and a Saturday stuff, Halloween TV Tuesdays, Halloween-inspired Friday night movies as well. And it's going to be a very interesting month for our podcasts. So, yeah, I'll just say that much. And also, by the way, just to promote our other stuff as well. We do have our Those Guys Play. I mentioned search up Those Guys Play on our YouTube channel. We have our Those Guys on the Radio podcast, which you're listening to right now, which is nice. You might be listening to it through our Blog Talk Radio account, which is blogtalkradio.com/ThoseGuysOnTheRadio, or our Twitter, which is at Those Guys Radio, or our Instagram, which is /ThoseGuysOnTheRadio. You might also be listening to us through our YouTube archives by searching up Those Guys on the Radio on YouTube, or you could be listening to us through our iTunes account, which is actually just searching up Those Guys and finding us on iTunes as well. Also want to mention that we have merchandise on our main website, which is tgproduction.net/merchandise. Also over at our eBay, which is /USR/ThoseGuysRadio, which actually has some exclusive merchandise when it comes to posters and T-shirts. Some of these T-shirts and posters designed by Anthony Sanandris, another podcaster /Let's Player that we bring on the different shows. Very talented artist. Definitely check out some of our stuff on eBay, and you guys might enjoy something.
So also want to mention that we have our Patreon, which is TG Productions, just /TG Productions, and when you put that in and you can see all the different rewards, you can help keep the lights on, right? Help keep the lights on in the TARDIS, and you can also get some cool rewards on the side, and we'll also be adding in some more rewards soon, so you can get even more stuff via our Patreon. And I want to thank everyone who's already donated to the Patreon, and also I want to thank anyone who's also bought our merchandise. So thank you guys. Love you guys so much. And, I don't know what else to say about Doctor Who right now because there's so much speculation. I don't know. I think we can take another half an hour, but we won't. So thank you all. Love you guys. And I guess say good night, Tristan.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night, everybody.